The glue miss part 2. So in part 1, I talked about the general purpose of these videos and where we are going with this title and with this idea. In summary, previous video was about what should we expect from a glue process, whatever. And if I wanted to conclude the previous video, I would say glue is an style of mixing and mastering. It's not a plugin or a single process that could be achieved by a plugin. It's an style of mixing and mastering, like loading some plugins always on individual channels, bus channels, and mastering channels to take a specific color that you know they give it to you. And that glue style comes from them. So I've loaded the plugins that I want to talk about here, and I loaded them to not forget to talk about them. So the first one is this Tube Tech ME1B. Yep, it works like a charm when we are talking about gluing. The cuts and the boosts that you do here are completely different from other analog equalizers or whatever equalizer you have in your mind. I usually do this dip. I love this dip. It's just fantastic. It's magical. It's like a magical stick that you are hitting those frequency with. So let's go check. Don't talk about it and check it.
She's the object of my fascination. That's what's real to me. A red hot chick by classification, but she's too blind to see in my car.
It is more than a cut. Yep, I cut these frequencies. It's what it is. It's 500 hertz. Yes, this frequency had a lot of boxiness in it, and it is now better. You might say, so if you cut boxiness, bass comes up and everything will shine lower than boxy frequencies. No, it's not completely true. It is true, but it's not completely true. The differences that I'm hearing here are much more than a cut. So this plugin does some analog magic voodoo thing here and makes the sound much better. So we have bass, but we have a glued lower frequency and it sounds much better.
She's the object of my fascination. That's what's real to me. A red hot chick by classification.
Lower frequency is tightened up and glued together. So this is one of the plugins that is on EQ category, but has the glue effect to it. It depends on which frequencies you cut or boost. It has that glue to it, glue magic. It's like something happens to audio frequency when you are doing cut or boost with this plugin. And that is fantastic. So the other plugin that I'm going to talk about is this one. EQF 100 from Summit Audio, that is simulated by Softube. The previous one is done by Softube too, but the previous one was from other company, Tube Tech, as the name suggests. So this one is Summit Audio, again from Softube. And the plugins that you have on Universal Audio hardwares are licensed by Softube. I think Softube is the only one who has the right to simulate and sell the plugins related to these hardwares. One of my friends has this on his Apollo Twin, I think. And it's just here. Softube is just right here. So this plugin has more features. It has high pass, low pass, and boost and cut that is easily customizable. Even when you are doing some cuts here, the lower frequency is tightened up. You have better glue. Look, I'm repeating this glue word because everywhere, every plugin that I use has it, injects it into the song, and everywhere I go, it's just there. It's because of my plugins, I know it. And it's because the style of plugins that I use. But those plugins that I use has it on a different way than other analog plugins. So it's why I love some plugins and I always use them. So let's get to it, do some changes and see how it works.
She's the object of my fascination. That's what's real to me.
We have a little bit of harshness around here. I'm boosting it and it's just popping up.
Mine, she's the object of my fascination, and that's what's real to me. I read.
Okay, so I have done a cut here, as you can see and as you heard in the mix, but I'm hearing some differences on this band and tube takes cut, tube takes dip. So let me just do this, or not doing it, it's disabled. It is completely disabled. It didn't need to get reversed. So let's check only these bands.
Mine, she's the object of my fascination, and that's what's real to me. I read hot chick by classification, but she's too blind to see. In my car, she could just mine. She's the object of my fascination, and that's what's real to me. I read hot chick by classification, but she's too blind.
I don't think that's this wide, but let's just check scenarios. I'm trying to match them together.
Mine, she's the object of my fascination, and that's what's real to me. I read hot chick by classification, but she's too blind to see. In my car, she looked just like a movie star. She's 10 out of 10. Mine, she's the object of my fascination, and that's what's real to me. I read hot chick by classification.
This plugin has more tightened up quality to it, and
Mine, she's the
this Summit Audio has more open like sound. This is the quality of the analog device that they are simulated from, and sometimes it's just a little differences on the bands and cuts and boosts. Anywho, the conclusion is that when you are doing some cuts and boosts with analog plugins, you are doing something more than those cuts and boosts. You are changing a lot of things there, because they do apply saturation and sometimes distortion. With this plugin, you could get distortion easily, the special kind of distortion that this plugin offers. So what I'm trying to say is analog equalizers has the effect of glue too, and they do it natural and the most intact way. They do it like this. So the next plugin is this saturation plugin. Yes, saturators has that have that glue effect too. Let's check.
mine, she's the object of my fascination, and that's what's real to me. I read hot chick by classification, but she's too blind to see. In my car, she looked just like a movie star. Mine, she's the object of my fascination. Mine, she's the object of my fascination.
When several audio materials are in better relationship together, we say they are glued. So this saturation plugin adds color, adds saturation, adds harmonics that did not exist in this song, in this audio material. But the one of the side effects that is obvious for me, I can hear it obviously, is that it does the glue too, and everything is in a better relationship together. They are stick together and they are like one whole big band of instruments. So when this happens, when they are related together, when they are stick together and they have better meaning, we understand it as a glue. And as I said, glue is not just a plugin or just a side effect or just an effect or just a plugin that is named glue. Glue is an style of mixing and mastering. If you start with thinking to glue, I need to have better correlation, better relationship between these instruments. In this bus, I need this type of gluing, that type of gluing. Yes, they differ from each other. When you start thinking that way and planning for it, You are a wise mixing and mastering engineer. So this is an style of mixing and mastering. It is not just a plugin, as I said. That is why analog mixing consoles always sound better, because they have integrated gluing and coloring and saturation just enough, just the enough amount of it. They have it already inside them. And when you are recording through a, let's say, analog desk with whatever microphone and preamps you have, or maybe you use just preamps of your desk, you are adding that fitting in the space and sitting in the space of the mix at first. That's beautiful. That's what analog gears do. But in digital domain, we try to replicate it. It's not going to be exactly the same. We don't need exactly the same. We just need something to fit and sit better. That's our target. It's not to replicate those qualities, those audios. There was a reason digital domain was invented. Yeah, it was part of technology advancing. Yes, it's right. But in some other opinions, it was a way out of those noises and unwanted distortions and saturations. So this clean mixing space is a heaven for those who worked on analog gears for a long time. And analog discs and tapes, they have recorded on tapes and it was noisy, always noisy. So let's check this one. This is exactly the bus compressor you would expect, and it would have the glue effect to it. I'm just trying to test and see how it sounds. Let's start this. Okay, we could start bypassed, of course. As you can hear, 30 millisecond has a open sound and it's not doing much gluing there, but the 10 millisecond does it. Could you feel that pressure that this plugin adds to the whole audio field? Mid, side, left, right. Everything is getting closer together, and it of course it gets some brightness. It is what SSL bus compressor type plugins do. Usually they do it. It adds some brightness and some better sounding space. It makes the audio field, the stereo image, sound better, sound full, sound more related. The instruments are more related together. They are better sounding together. So this is the plugin that you would expect the glue from. And here we getting it. It's just exactly like those others. Yes, the others has had some differences, had some maybe at some places better sounding, at some places worse sounding, but each and every one of them are all right for this task, for this process. And as you can hear, we have the pure gluing here, and it's I don't know, it's not new, it's not creative. I like bus compressors, but I love to add the glue and coloring effect by others, like tapes, like tube equalizers, like again tube equalizer saturators. So the last one is a free plugin from, what was its name? Variety of Sound. This really amazed me. I tested it and I said, let's check if it's okay for this video, and It really amazed me. Let's check it together.
Mine, she's the object of my fascination, and that's what's real to me. Mine, she's the object of my fascination, and that's what's real to me. I read how
I'm speechless. It's just amazing. Look, the previous audio without this plugin, it was loose. That's when we think of a gluing process, adding something to make that loose space tighten up without having some bad effects on the sound field, audio field. That's when we think of these processes. I think of these processes. I personally do this. So this plugin took away all those loose spaces and very open sound and made it tighter, made it closer, made it brighter, added some characters and added some boost on bass. This trance adds that extreme low end. Let's not say extreme low end, because extreme low end is what you hear on some devices, some speakers that has that big bass. It's not extreme, it's just a little bit more than the normal situation.
mine, she's the object of my fascination, and that's what's real to me. I read how to by classification.
We have a different low end, and that low and mid on the sides is affected too. We have a, let's say, tighter and at the same time bigger audio. So this is free. This is free, and it does the gluing as good as the others on a different style and different needs, different situations it would be fit in, and I just love it. So that's it. I'm done. I've said almost whatever I needed to say related to these plugins and to the glue. So glue is not a miss, it's just something that happens throughout the mix. It's not needed to be only be existed by a device, or just this plugin does it, just that plugin does it. It should have a 3x oversampling or 4x oversampling. It should be on this category. No, they are all BS, and you know it, I know it. We don't need those marketing words to understand how glue works or when we need glue. And these plugins did it pretty good. I hope I was able to transform what I was trying to transform to you, this knowledge I have about gluing. And that's it. Please comment below whatever questions or suggestions you have for my next videos. Don't forget to subscribe and follow for more.